What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's project, this beautiful-ish Aston Martin DBS. I said ish because it's not very beautiful at the moment. But before we jump into this, I just need to say a very quick well done to a multi. Congratulations on that beautiful Bolt Reptilia R2 with that beautiful wide body kit. Some excellent work from yourself there. You modded in all the fenders to make that. It looks absolutely insane. That was this week's winner. You can see a slight change to the pinboard. I'm running out of space now. Going to have to make all of these smaller, I think, before we add the next one in. The next competition has started. We are going to be working on Payne's 66.5 to 66 years. That is Ford Mustang, one of the first ever Ford Mustangs. Head on to the Discord, go into the competition channel. The link to get the precise mod is there. Have some fun with that. Play around, make some cool configs. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. That is my favorite car of all time. The 66 Mustang is the one I love the most. But back to today's Aston Martin DBS, looking sorry for itself, to say the least. But let's have a look what we've got. This is obviously a 2007 Aston Martin DBS with 145, just about 1,000 kilometers on there, in absolutely terrible condition. 7% on the body, 23% on the frame. It is awful. Did I get a good deal? Absolutely not. I paid 18,283 and I'm already short of 4,285 with a sale price of 13,998, which obviously we're not going to do because we need to improve this. This one does come with the V12 AM11 engine. Absolutely insane monster there that we're going to put performance parts all over. 510 and base horsepower. What will we get to by the end of the episode? Leave a comment now and let me know what your guesses are, how high you'll think we'll get. I'm not sure, but we need to get stuck into this little beauty. Let's get it over to the car wash. Let's get all this crud and grime cleaned off of this and start stripping everything down. Here we are then at the car wash. Let's get this all cleaned up. There we go. We can already see it's red. I don't think there's any mismatched panels on it. Maybe. We shall see. I could be horribly wrong. It doesn't look like it. There are a lot of panels missing, so probably nothing mismatched. But let's get this interior done, cleaned, get it back on the lift and get what little of that V12 is left in there ripped out. There wasn't much left of that engine, but we still need to check for the oil pan, which is not there, unfortunately. So we'll move on to this giant drive shaft, absolutely massive on there. Let's see what we can do. We need to take the gearbox out, which is way down at the back here. That's a new feature. Cool. So we need to get these wheels off and then the drive shafts out. So I'll crack on with that. That's that taken care of. Let's get this gearbox out. It looks in very bad condition. Probably going to be a lot of rusty bolts on this one. Only 2, so not too bad. Swing around to the other side. Can't believe how far back the gearbox is. That is insane. A bit weird. I like it, though. And then this huge drive shaft tunnel. Out you come. Didn't see a starter anywhere. I wonder if it is missing or whether it's just further back. It's probably there, which means it is pretty confident that is missing, which is a shame. We need to grab that one before we move on. But I think that's everything out. Not much to it, but let's get it down on the ground and get that engine ripped out of there. Over we go. Grab the crane. No hood to lift up. Let's pull out what's left. Yes, it came out nice and easy. Good to know. Let's see what we've got in this engine bay or what we've not got in this engine bay, as the case may be. So we're missing air filters either side there, power steering reservoir, coolant reservoir, wishy-washy reservoir, and the radiator and potentially fan housing kit there. What else are we missing? Brake servo, fuse box, ABS pumper module, plus the ECU type A. Down here we're missing the battery, we're missing the fuel tank, we're missing the fuel pump, and obviously the full exhaust system as well. So I've got to make sure I don't forget any of that. But that is the whole engine bay. Nothing needs stripping out because it is all missing. So let's get this wheel off and see what we've got going on with the suspension. Out you come, a lovely little front wheel. What have we got? Double wishbone? Double wishbone. Are we all complete? We've got inner and outer tie rod there. We've got the hubcap. We've got the bearing. We've got both the bushings. That looks pretty much all there to me. I would have said that was all there. Let's have a look on the other side. See what we've got. Wheels are on, so that's a good sign. Inner and outer tie rod, sway bar end link, bushing and hubcap all in there. Both bushings down there as well. Fantastic. Let's jump down the back if I could get there. There we go. So we know we had the wheel and the drive shafts in when it was all connected. So it's another double wishbone. And I think that's pretty much it. It's going to be all complete there. We've got the bearing. We know the drive axles were there. We've got the bearing, and we know the drive axles were there. That looks all complete. Fantastic. So I'm going to get all of this stripped off. Then we're going to move on to get that beautiful engine stripped down. Obviously, I'm not going to show you guys that, but we'll move on to the bodywork as soon as that's finished. I'll see you back here in just a little while. That's everything repaired, replaced, or upgraded, and ready to go back on the DBS. But we need to sort this bodywork out. So let's just start stripping it off. It doesn't look like there's much here. What's that? It's part of the wheel. Never mind. Out with the door. No windows in there. No windows in there. Is there a side skirt? Doesn't look like it. Nothing at the rear. No rear window. One rear light. Okay. One rear window, and that looks to be all of the body off. Let's just double check. Let's get the interior out before we double check that. One single solitary seat in there. Probably will be keeping it with its Aston Martin seats and wheel if there are ones to go with it. I'm sure there are. Let's have a look though. Where are we? 1% good start. That is everything off. So let's get the frame all sorted out. Now I spent just over 18,000 and the frame was about 27%, if I think. So I'm going to say 1,200. Okay, I'm not doing bad at this recently. That spot on. I was unprepared for that. Let's check out the body shop for this one. Nothing in the body tuning parts, only the base factory stuff to go with it. There we are. Everything is just like for like. I don't think I've got anything that I can actually repair, so I'm probably just going to go and buy this, although I am going to double check before I do that. So I'll get that sorted, we'll get this all back together, then we'll head over to the paint shop and see what we can do with this beautiful DBS. I said I didn't have anything to repair, and I was wrong. I lied. I had one front door. There we go. That was the only piece I managed to repair. So let's get the rest of this back on. All bought new. Everything else completely replaced on this. Around we go. No alternative parts. Nothing to swap in. So it just is what it is. Let's just get it all back in and hope that it looks pretty good. Well, hopefully after we've been to the paint shop, it'll look pretty good. Let's carry it on round to the back, in with the tail lights, the trunk, and the rear bumper. On you go. Just sort of racing through this, because you can only do what you can do on this one. It just is what it is. There we go. Let's get the interior in. Now, I did say I was going to stick with the DBS seats, which I'm going to. There they are. They look lovely in that black and white, and they do match that rear bench. And then you've got a nice steering wheel with a few different touches on there. So you see they're black and white. If I come out of here, the rear bench there isn't an added seat. It's just part of the car, but it matches all perfectly, along with the door cards. There we go. That's our lovely little DBS all back together. Let's just check we did get everything. Wrong screen, wrong screen. 90%. We're missing the plates. I'm being bad at this. On we go. VM plate just with the DBS relatively central on there. On you go and on you go. Now let's have another look. 100%, 100%, 100%. Fantastic. Let's get over to the paint shop and see what we can do with this DBS today. Here we are then in the paint shop with the beautiful Aston Martin DBS, fully in its factory colour now in the red. Let's check out the liveries that come with this. There's only two in slot number one. You've got exactly the same as what was with the DBX, with the front grille in white, the mirrors and the arches there in that sort of yellowy off green. Slot number two is the same with the racing stripe and the circles for numbers on the door. That is the two liveries that come with it. I have since gone into the files, taken these liveries and changed the colours on some just to give me some few extra options. So, for example, let's go down to black. I've got the front grille here in red with the mirrors and the A-pillars. There we go, also in red. I've also added an orange one, which is probably what I'm going to go with today, looking pretty cool. And then there's a white one as well. That black and white doesn't look too bad, but I'm pretty confident I'm going to go with the orange. That's all of what I've added today. I'm going to disappear for a couple of minutes, have a play around and see what I like. I'll join you back here in a second when we've picked the final colour. Here's what I've gone for on the DBS then. This lovely gloss white with these gloss orange accents, looking pretty sweet. Rest of the car in white. You've got some touches of black down here. Probably going to do those wheels black when we come to them. Not fully 100% sure about that. A little bit of black in this front fender. And if we open the hood here, you've got a huge black section there and obviously black under the hood and a bit of black there with a very white engine bay. So we're going to try and keep that engine maybe orange and black with a few splashes of white in there, because we don't want to go too white with the engine bay itself being white. As regards to the suspension, maybe a few splashes of white in there. We may keep some of it in like a black chrome with, again, a few splashes of that gloss orange in there. Hopefully going to look incredible. I need to get all of them parts painted. Then we need to get this one back on the lift and start with the reassembly. That's everything painted, ready to go back on the beautiful DBS in orange and white. It looks lovely. Let's start with the shock assembly. We've got chrome black rear shocks with the orange springs on there. They're looking pretty tasty. Quite happy with that. And then on the front, it's the same again. Chrome black with orange springs. Just a slightly different look. Looking fantastic. That Bolt Reptilia R2 looks fantastic in that wide body kit. Anyway, let's go. Let's get some of this all back on. Here we go. Let's have a look, see what it looks like. So the front suspension crossmember, I've done that one in the chrome black. Remember, the engine bay is very, very white in there with a few splashes of black. So just a little bit of extra black underneath might do it some good. The bottom suspension arms, they're just in a stock basic white as you go. And the upper ones are exactly the same. Attempting to match the body. We shall see if that has worked. Probably not. But there we go. We'll get that sway bar end link on just because we're here. And then in with those beautiful shocks. Looking lovely. And then onto the wheel hubcap. We've just done that one in orange because why not? And then the brake caliper also in that lovely orange, but it is a little bit darker. If we just get rid of that, you can see it's a bit darker because they didn't want to take the color very well, and this was already at full brightness, so I couldn't make it any brighter. Bit of a shame, but it looks absolutely fantastic. Let's jump down the back and see what we've got going on. Now, the rear axle knuckle can be painted, so I did it in the same color as the cross member because this piece doesn't have a cross member. Both suspension arms, again, in that lovely solid white, looking pretty cool. On we go, and on we go. Looking good, looking good. Then the shock as well, you've already seen it in its black and orange, looking pretty lovely. Let's get the rest of this all together and see what it all looks like when it is complete. On you go, in you go, on you go. Brake pad, and then that orange brake caliper. Now, the lighting's a bit different at the back, so it might look better, and it does look a little bit better. You can see that's not far off. A little bit more of a matte finish on the brake caliper, more of a chrome finish on the springs there. It's not actually, this is the custom color. I've just taken it so I can get it as bright as I can. But that's looking pretty sweet. I'm quite pleased with that. Things we got left to go at the back here, we can't do yet until the gearbox is in. There's the drive shaft that goes in there. Everything else is already done at bearing in. So I'm going to crack on, get around, get all of this in, and then we'll get it all complete. Move on to the engine bay, get that together, and then go build that beautiful V12. I'll see you in just a bit. There it is then in the black, orange, and white, looking absolutely fantastic. I've got the battery in, the fuel tank, the fuel pump, and all the exhaust in, apart from the very front exhaust sections, which don't go in until the engine goes in anyway. That's looking pretty sweet, though. Quite pleased with that. Let's move on, though, and get this engine bay all sorted out. We'll start with the radiator and the fan housing kit. On you go. 1, 2, 3. Looking pretty good. Wishy-washy reservoir, power steering reservoir, coolant reservoir, all in there. We'll come back to the air filters in a moment. The ECU Type A, let's get you in. The ABS pump, I almost couldn't see it there. And the ABS module, on you go. Let's get this engine bay all finished off. Then we can go build that beautiful V12. Brake servo, in you go. Then just a couple of pieces left. I think just the coloured stuff. So we'll go in with the fuse box. We've got the fuse box in the orange. I'll get all of that finished off in a second. And then these air filters. Now, I really wanted to do these orange, but they did not work. So sadly, they just went in the black, which is a bit of a shame. They would have looked incredible in orange, but it didn't work. So it is what it is. We'll move on. They do have some lovely orange clips on them, though, just to really finish that off in the engine bay. So I'm going to get on and get the other one of these finished, get all the... get all the fuses in and get that fuse box finished off, and then we'll go and build that beautiful V12. I already have the block done and the pistons in, so I'll see you in there in just a second. Here we are then with this beautiful V12 engine block. All of the pistons already in, all of the rod caps on, just one camshaft bearing cap to go in. There we go. I just wanted you to have a quick look at the V12. It is absolutely massive under there. And then the oil pan we have done in the orange, hopefully matching the orange on the body of the car. We might not see that one directly, but we should see the rest of it a little bit later on. So let's move on up. I'll just throw one of these heads on very quickly. They are both exactly the same. We'll get them in. I'll get it all bolted up, and we'll talk about what goes inside it, because it is quite a bit fiddly. So we'll just crack on and get on with this. In you go. Last couple of bolts. Nicely done. Now, I will crack on and do the other one in a second, You've got 2 exhaust manifolds on either side, one and then the other one just there. You've got 2 camshafts, so you've got camshaft Bs on this side and then camshaft As on the other side. All of the spark plugs need to go in. We've got 2 cam gears on either side, along with 10 camshaft caps either side, 5 on each camshaft. So I'll get all of these in, all of the other head on as well, and I'll get you all caught up, and we'll catch back in just a few moments. There we go, both heads on, all the camshafts in, everything like that, all sorted. Let's move on to this front end. In fact, let's just throw that fuel filter on while we're here. There we go. Now let's move on to this front end. On with a timing chain B, on you go, and then a timing chain A. B first, for some reason, don't know why. And then 4 timing shoes on there. These are the timing shoe B. I don't know why they're the B, because this doesn't have any other ones. So let's just get them on you go. In you go, and on you go. There, nice. There we go. Right, so then engine head covers. These are in a chrome black. There's a reason for it. You will see why in a minute. I'll get all them ignition coils done in just a few moments. Onto the other side, also in that black. Looking pretty good. We've already got black, orange, black, but no white yet. So let's move on. The main timing cover in the orange. There we go. Looking pretty nice. Sort of blending in to that filter underneath. Pan underneath. The oil pan underneath. I cannot get my words out today. Timing cover C in white. There's our first splash of white on this beautiful engine. There isn't much of it because the engine bay is very, very white. In fact, that might even just be it. We will see in a moment. Alternator, we'll just get you on now. You're in a lovely chrome colour, along with our power steering pump. On you go, over there. In you go. Fuel filter is in a lovely chrome black, just to go with the rest of it there. And the water pump is also in that chrome black, because it could be, and it looked quite good, so I did it. Water pump pulley, on you go, on you go. Can we get the front end of this engine all finished off? I hope so. Thermostat up there, fitting quite nicely. Then we got 2 idle rollers, one there and one here. On you go, 1B and 1A. And then the crankshaft pulley down the centre there. And we should be able to get the belt on. Nice. And then the belt tensioner, that is the other piece of white on here. There we go. Looking pretty sweet. I'll get all of these ignition coils in. I'll be back in a second. That's all the coils in. Now onto these big old intake manifolds, looking pretty huge. I have done these in the orange. There we go. They're looking awesome. Also, you got the Aston Martin branding on there as well, looking pretty sweet. And then the throttle just on the end in that lovely chrome black. Just to finish it off, looking pretty sweet. We do also have some fuel rails to go in, one on either side, just in the chrome black, but there is an engine cover covering those, so they don't really matter too much. On we go. And then on we go with you, and on we go with you. And then the very last piece on the engine on the stand, that's right, on the stand, is the engine cover. I could have painted this. It sort of goes orange-ish, but this sort of matches with the rest of the plastic bits inside the car. So that looks pretty sweet. Quite pleased with that. I'm going to grab a few pictures. Oh, as you can see, look, if I hover over there, you can see there's 2 extra pieces sticking out. You can't actually put them on until they're in the car, so we'll work on them in just a moment. But I'm going to grab some photos of this beautiful engine, and then we'll get it dropped in the Aston Martin. There we go, all finished, looking beautiful. Really do think that looks fantastic. Let's get it dropped in the Aston Martin, though, and see how it looks against the rest of the car. I really do love how this looks so far, but let's get you in and see how this goes. Away you go. I can already see it. That is looking pretty sweet. Liking that. Not too much white. As I say, you've already got loads of white in the engine bay. That is looking absolutely incredible. Enough orange, enough black. And you can see that that piece there sort of blends into that bit of plastic up there. So it all sort of matches and looks pretty good. Last few pieces to go in. The air intake hoses. Can't paint them. And they fit perfectly with them intakes. That looks absolutely sweet. Very, very pleased with that. That is looking incredible. Few more pieces to go. We've got to lift it up. We've got to get that massive drive shaft in, the gearbox in, and the rear drive axles on there. Ready to get this one all finished off. Under we go. Let's just go real close. Get into that engine. And we'll start off by throwing the front exhaust sections in just to get that finished off, because they look pretty cool. On you go. In fact, they look very fitting. I like that a lot. Let's get the drive shaft in. A big old tubular drive shaft would have been absolutely incredible if you could have painted that one black all the way down. Starter in now before the gearbox, well, just because that's how it works. In the orange, just because it looks pretty sweet. And then the last thing to go in is the gearbox in a chrome black. I could have done it orange, but I felt like the chrome black I think looked really nice. Plus it sort of matches with the cross section at the front in the black as well. So pretty good ideas as to why I did it. Let's just get these last drive shafts in. Then I'm going to get the wheels all done, liquids topped up. We'll get this car outside in the sun, all finished, looking absolutely incredible. It already looks beautiful. Just some wheels to go and some liquids. I'll see you outside in just a moment. Here we are then, all finished with the Aston Martin DBS in a gloss white with some orange accent details on the body there. Nothing too special, but we really have gone to town with that engine. It looks insane. Orange down there, a couple of splashes of white and a little bit of chrome black just to finish it off, but it looks really good. Plus we've got then the white, black and orange suspension front and back, orange fuse box, black air filters with the orange clips, all looking pretty cool. Black gearbox down there and also a lovely little orange starter. Really looks fantastic. And if you don't have access to these, I say if, you won't have access to these, you get the one that comes with it in that lime green / yellowy colour. But if you're on PC and you've got access to any sort of photo editing software, just export these or open these with whatever your photo editing software is and just change the color. That's all I did. As I changed the color to orange on the original liveries, and I ended up with this result after painting the body white and then beautiful chrome rims in the black. Speaking of the rims, I kept them as they were, exactly as they were. DBS rims, obviously, I was going to pick them anyway. I painted them chrome black and then just left everything as it was. The sizes are a 20-inch rim at 245 width at the front here with a 35 profile. Looking good. Can't really see my orange brake caliper through there, which is a bit of a shame. Moving down to the back, the backs are the same, a 20-inch rim, but a 295 width with only a 30 profile. Pretty nice. They fit really well. That's why I didn't change them. If you didn't quite get that, it's very easy to find it. Car status screen, main front screen there. That's the front wheels. That's the rear wheels. Easy as that. Sorted. Ready to go back on the car. Absolutely fantastic. But let's jump in this DBS and see what it sounds like before we head over to the dyno to see what we've done today. This interior looks absolutely fantastic. Well done, guys. Looking beautiful. Seats look a little bit weird with that lip in the center. You can see why it's bigger. It looks a bit funky to sit on it, but it's still cool nonetheless. Let's get this one started and see what she sounds like. Here we go. That's a hell of a tick over. That is a strong tick over from this beautiful V12. And sounded like a V12 should at the top end there. Absolutely fantastic. Beautiful, and not quite as good as the twin turbo V8, but I just like a turbo. Let's head over to the dyno and see how much horsepower we've got today. Here we are then on the dyno with the Aston Martin DBS and its V12 AM11 engine with 510 factory horsepower. We've thrown on all of the performance parts today. How much have we ended up with? Let's have a look. A gain of 505 horsepower, almost a brand new engine, 99%. That is pretty damn good. Taking us up to 1,014 horsepower from this Aston Martin DBS. Pretty good. Let's go check out the gearbox tuning setup for today. There she is, a 3.85 ratio, 75 kilometers an hour in first gear, up to 461 kilometers an hour in ninth gear. Don't think we'll quite get there, but let's head over to the track and see what we can get. On the speed track with the Aston Martin DBS, looking absolutely fantastic in that gloss white with the orange accents. Absolutely insane, but let's get this thing going. How fast can we get it down the end? Let's go! Off we go. It doesn't like first gear, but none of my cars, none of my builds ever do like first gear. Where will we finish up? There's 200 kilometers an hour. Nice and easy. Into fifth gear, heading into sixth. Nicely done. Can we get up to 300? I'd imagine so. Yeah, what about 350? Can we get up to 350? Come on, DBS. You can do it. Nice. Go on. There's 350. Okay, cool. 360? 360. That did just tick over to 360, so that's what I'm going to mark this one down as. 360 kilometers an hour from the Aston Martin DBS. So, full circle, 360 kilometers an hour from the Aston Martin DBS. Sorry for the terrible pun, but not too bad. 360 kilometers an hour pits at 88th in our speederboard out of 140 Car Mechanic Simulator cars. So, Not bad. Definitely could have been a little bit better, but still pretty damn good. Still quite high up there. That engine looks absolutely incredible. I am so pleased with it, along with that suspension. Do let me know what you guys think of this one in the comments below. But let's jump into some facts and figures. Can't close the hood. There we go. About this lovely Aston Martin DBS. Now, if you stuck around for long enough at the beginning, you saw that I paid $18,283 for this one, losing out on $4,285. Not too bad, but I have since spent another $75,520, pitting our total spend for this beautiful DBS at $93,803. But can we make a profit from this beautiful, beautiful car? I really love that white and orange. I think it looks great with the black wheels. Absolutely incredible. But can we make a profit? Let's find out as we jump in. All 100% complete. Still shy of 145,000 kilometers. I didn't need to do that much testing in this one again. And obviously that engine now bumped up to 1,014 horsepower and 99% gain. So close on that one. Pretty damn good. But can we make a profit? Yes, and quite a big one. 191,951 is our sale price. Take away our 93,803 that we spent on it. Leaves us with a profit of 98,148. Almost 100,000 profit on this DBS. It is a time to say goodbye. You were a lot of fun. Off you go at DBS. What do we have next? Well, you already know. It is the last Aston Martin. This is the stunning Aston Martin Vantage from 2019. Less than 30,000 kilometers on it. Not in too bad condition at all. Did we get a good deal? Yes. 93,865 I spent on it and could already sell it for 117,867. Making a profit of 24,002 credits. Not too bad. This one does come with the other one of these engines, the V8 M177 twin turbo, but the rear wheel drive instead of the all-wheel drive. With 503 factory horsepower on it, we will be increasing that one. That will be for next time. I hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you have, please consider hitting that subscribe button. We're trying to get up to 250 subscribers so I can mess around with some of my old cars. I want to bring all the ones up that we've saved, had a look around them, check out the liveries, see if any improvements can be made. But just before I go, well done to Multi again. Absolutely stunning Bolt Reptilia R2. Next competition has started. We are doing a Ford Mustang, very specific one. 64, the year 64 and a half. Up to the year 66 Mustang. On the Discord, link is in the competitions page to get the very precise one. So I want to see some awesome ones of them, as it is my all-time favourite car. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all had a glorious, glorious weekend. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.